People last night celebrating the first night of Hanukkah. The Jewish holiday officially started yesterday at sundown. City officials in downtown Portland lighting a menorah outside City Hall in celebration. The first night of Hanukkah and Christmas were on the same day this year for the first time since 2005. Hanukkah's 8-day celebration commemorates the miracle of the oil in the temple. It is said there was only enough to last one day, but ended up lasting 8.
It's great. I think everybody should come together and celebrate because it's a very festive day. Some people have a custom of giving presents called Hanukkah gelt. Gelt is giving something. We use chocolate gelt today, and it's really a very happy time.
And there are still more activities to come. On Monday, a menorah will be lit up at the State House with Governor Janet Mills. Hanukkah festivities wrap up in the new year with a car-top menorah parade into downtown Portland.